Hi everybody, so here I am Manik from the channel Literature Study at Home. I welcome you from the core of my heart. Today I am going to discuss with you another important key literary theorist, and he is none other than Homi K Bhaba. Okay, so you know Bhaba, he was born in 1949 and he is a still living legend. Okay, so Bhaba or Homi K Bhaba is a prominent figure in post-colonial studies. He was born in India and educated at Bombay University and Christ Church College, Oxford. In 2012, he was awarded finest and most recognizable award in India, that is Padma Bhushan, by the Indian government for his impressive contribution to literature and education. Now he is currently a professor at the University of Chicago and teaching in the Department of English and Art. And if you have gone through the works of Bhaba, you will find the traces of influence by the prominent literary theorists like Jacques Derrida, Jacques Lacan, and Michel Foucault. So, with these ideas, rather, Homi K Bhaba challenges the idea of fixed national identities. Okay, he argues that nationhood is created through narratives, and colonial power is marked by its ambivalence. So where both the colonized, that means in that places both the colonizer and the colonized shape each other. Okay, so his key concepts such as hybridity, mimicry, difference, and ambivalence, all these things will highlight the complexity of identity and culture. Now I will try to simplify these concepts one after another. First and foremost important is hybridity. What is the meaning of hybridity? Hybridity refers to the mixing of cultures, okay, that results something in new, and it becomes a kind of blended forms of identity and culture. So here Bhaba argues that colonialism did not just impose one culture over another, rather instead it created a hybrid space. Okay, and there the colonizer and the colonized influence each other. So he takes it very positively, and by that reason it leads to new cultural identities. Okay, now try to understand with a simple example. Imagine an Indian American child, okay, raised in the United States. Okay, the child may celebrate both Diwali and also the ceremony of Thanksgiving, and speaking with his English friends sometime, but in English, and sometimes he speaks with his Indian friends in Tamil and something like that, or Bengali. So their identity is a kind of blend of Indian and American cultures rather than strictly adhering to one or the other. Okay, so this fusion of identities is what Bhaba describes as hybridity. I hope it is clear. Now the second concept, ambivalence. What is it? Ambivalence in Bhaba's theory refers to the coexistence of contradictory feelings or attitudes in colonial relationships. What is the meaning of it? The colonizer desires control and dominance, but they also fear of the influence of the colonized, because they have to leave their house, they have to stay here in a different country Okay, so the colonized, meanwhile, on the other hand, may both resist and also imitate the colonizer. So by doing this, they create a complex relationship of dependence and rebellion. Okay, now try to understand with a simple example. Consider a workplace where a boss hires employees from diverse backgrounds. Okay, the boss wants to lead and shape these employees according to company culture. Okay, but he is also fascinated by the employees' unique ideas, unique perspectives, so which may challenge the company's norms, isn't it? So the employees, this is the feeling of the boss, okay, or for the company, okay. Now the employees, on the other hand, they try to fit into the company's standards, but also bring their own cultural practices and making the relationship one both conformity with the company's norm, and they might also resist the culture of the company, but somehow they have to accept it because to maintain the work ethics. So this is a kind of mixed emotions between boss and the employees. So it shows the ambivalence. I think it is clear right now. Now the third concept Homi Bhaba has given, that is cultural difference and stereotypes. So Bhaba differentiates between cultural diversity. What is it? He refers that cultural diversity treats culture as something fixed and given a different angle, and cultural, on the other hand, difference where culture is produced through interactions, and that's why culture is not fixed. As cultures are different, it is fluid. Okay, so he also criticizes the term stereotypes. Stereotypes always fix certain groups into rigid categories or normality, ignoring their individuality. So he does not prefer these terms. Okay, stereotype, he was against of it. Just try to understand what he actually tries to mean with an easy example. Imagine walking into a restaurant in a foreign country. If you assume that all the dishes will be the same as you know from back home, as it is you thought, but due to its cultural diversity, it may be different. You are likely to miss out new variation as you have already set up in your mind that yes, I am going to eat this kind of foods. Okay, now cultural difference would mean that even a familiar dish like pizza might have local spices, that's like biryani, Kolkata's biryani, Hyderabad's biryani, due to its ingredients, so giving it a unique twist based on cultural context. Got it? So that's why the difference is there. Now similarly, when you meet someone from a different background and assume they act or think in certain ways based on the stereotypes that you are categorizing, that these are the people from the rural areas, poor, that's why their mentality will be like that. So you will miss the richness of their personality, because I know that many people who are from those backgrounds can also influence the rich people also. Got it? That's why he avoids stereotype. Now the fourth concept is mimicry. This is very, very much vital. Mimicry involves the colonizing or the colonized people adopting the customs, language, and the culture of the colonizer. So we are accepting, we are imitating the culture of the colonizer. So in doing this, however, colonized people never become fully, identical to the colonizer. So instead, in mimicry, they creates a kind of difference, okay, that subtly challenges the colonizer's authority. So by doing this, they are, protesting against it. Okay, the colonized here appears almost the same, but not quite. Got it? Just try to understand with an easy example. Okay, think of someone who moves to a new country, okay, and tries to blend in by adopting local habits, such as their dressing in a certain way, using local slang language, and following their social norms. However, you might, you also can feel that in this video, I am using the English language, but I can't, follow their accent. Got it? Because their accent is completely different. My accent is Indian. So accent or subtle differences in behavior make it clear that they are still an outsider. Yes, we can speak English, but not like them. So that's why we are mimicking, and we are, concisely, we are very much aware of it. Just for instance, a person who moves from India to United Kingdom or England may adopt British custom, but their food preferences, family values, or even, slight accent set them apart, highlighting mimicry. So I may, in London, may prefer to eat biryani or fried rice or the rice items. Got it? Now the fifth concept, third piece. Third piece is the space, and this is the space for interaction, where two or more cultures, okay, meet and create something new. So it is not about one culture dominating another, but it is about a dynamic space where identities from a different culture are constantly being negotiated. Okay, so this concept, rejects the idea of cultural purity. So it suggests that all cultures are hybrid, and it constantly, days after days, evolving. Okay, now try to understand what is actual this third piece. Imagine you are in a food festival, and this festival is in a multicultural city like Kolkata, like Bombay. So here it is a perfect example of third space. Here you can find fusion of various culinary traditions. You can get the Bengali dishes, you can get Tamil dishes, you can get North Indian dishes, you can get Odisha dishes. So various dishes will be there. Even you can get the dishes of Christian people. So this is not simply about the dominance of one culture over the other, but about how new hybrid cultural expressions are created in that spaces where these cultures meet with each other. Okay, so these are the major concepts which Homi K Bhaba have given to us. Now let us discuss his few major most important works. First and foremost, you need not to forget this work that was published in 1990, and it is titled as Nation and Narration. So here in this book, Bhaba actually explores how nations are not natural or fixed entities. Rather, these nations are stories or narratives that create a kind of sense of national identity. So what actually Bhaba mentions here, that he argues that nations are constantly being redefined. It is not fixed that this nation is this far, and rather it is reshaping throughout cultural and also historical narratives. Okay, so this work, Nation and Narration, challenges the idea of notions or rather nations as stable or unified. Rather, it shows that how national identity is also changing in diverse way, in fragmented way. Now, the second most important work by Bhaba was The Location of Culture. It was published in 1994. So this is one of Bhaba's most influential works, where he introduces various key concepts like the concept of hybridity, mimicry, ambivalence, and also the concept of third space too. So here Bhaba argues that culture is not static or homogeneous, but it is constantly evolving, especially in colonial and post-colonial context. Got it? So what he actually mentions, he shows how power dynamics between colonizers and also the colonizing, or also the colonizer, or also the colonized, lead to a new cultural forms that challenge the authority of the colonizers or the superior people. Okay, now the third book is called Without Boundary, 17 Ways of Looking. So this was published very recently, 2006. So this book was not a single-handed work. It was co-authored by Forestin Dapteri, okay, and Orhan Pamuk, was written in the context of a museum modern art or MoMA, okay, exhibition. So on that circumstance, they wrote it. So this book explores how contemporary art crosses boundaries of geography, culture, identity, everything. So Bhaba and others focus on how globalization has led the blending of cultural expressions, particularly through art, and which no longer fits with neatly into national or cultural categories. Okay. Now the fourth one, it is called negotiating rapture. Okay, negotiating rapture has a subtitle, The Power of Art to Transform Lives. It was published little earlier in 1996. Okay, so this work, created also for the Museum of Contemporary Art. It explores how art has the power to transform human experience. So these are all the works by Bhaba. I hope with this discussion it was beneficial for you. So thank you. Have a great day. Hope you will be successful in your study, and hope you will be very much happy with your living. Thanks for the watching.